Hey there, this is Terry Gregory with yarcoach.com. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terry. Today, as promised, I want to talk to you a little bit about this big circle of adolescence, the big circle in the stage of life development that is impacted the most by these earlier stages and then later impacts all of the adult stages the most. And this is when most people call me as a parenting coach. You can imagine, you guys are out there parenting, you're loving your kids, you're doing well. And those of you who hit a wall and want to help the kids so much, I adore it when you call me. To me, anybody who's trying to do their best and reaching out to help their kid gets an automatic gold star. Automatic. So kudos to you for being brave enough to do that. Some of you are running up against things that are tough in this adolescent phase, okay? And so I want to talk to you a little bit about things that might help. First of all, what's being decided here by your child is who I am. So there's a crisis meaning a decision point. My identity versus identity confusion. Do I know who I am or do I not know who I am? And that's basically it. Now, that sounds simple, and it is simple. What makes it complex is when we as parents and society superimpose our suppositions, our beliefs, who we think that child should be, right, onto them. It gets very confusing. So, if, for instance, let's say you're Jewish and your adolescent says they want to become Catholic, or let's say they're Democrat, or you're a Democrat, and they say all of a sudden, hey, they announce they want to become a Republican. Or you're a family of Mac users, and they say they're going to start using a PC. I mean, there's all sorts of levels of how we superimpose our own beliefs and suppositions and our life decisions onto our teenagers. And some of it can be helpful, some of it can be not so helpful. So the way I look at it is, and the way I suggest parents look at it, is that everybody comes with a DNA package, right? Color, hair, eyes, the way we look, the way our brains are built, all of that. Everybody comes with that package. So I often ask parents to step back, because it's not too late. That's what parents often think. Oh my gosh, I screwed it up. It's not too late. It's not too late. And you very often didn't screw it up. It's just from here forward you can make it better. So you come with your DNA package, and then I suggest that you step back and take a look at just who it is that's growing up before you, that you have the honor of gardening, if you will, that you have the honor of cultivating. Who are they? What do they think? What are their gifts? What are their talents? What are their abilities, their likes and dislikes, okay? So that's what I want to suggest that you do. Take a week, take a few days, and step back and watch this kid. Because oftentimes we overparent. We think the more we're talking, the better we're doing with parenting. And I have to tell you a secret. The absolute opposite is true. The less you talk, the more you watch, the more you listen, the better you're able to understand this child that you love so much. Okay? So, I want to leave you with 3 things. One is, kind of think about this week what it is you've superimposed on your kid that, they really will have a choice about later in life. Because if they're feeling strongly, sometimes they do it just to rebel. So if we don't create a safe environment where they're free to kind of think out loud and discover who they are, they'll start to rebel even if they don't really mean to or want to. So you can avoid that by stepping back and taking a look. Number 1, what am I superimposing on this kid? That's my life and my decision. That may not be theirs. And 2, recognize that you may love them more than you know them. I very often have spoken to teenagers who their parents think they know everything about them, and they don't. And it's not necessarily that they're doing something awful or have some big, deep, dark secret. It's just that all of us have some sense of privacy, especially as we grow into this adolescent stage, which sometimes starts in our culture, sadly, as young as 10 years old. So sometimes we love them a little more than we know them. So stepping back and watching them and trying to understand them can help you really get to know this person who lives in your house. And thirdly, ask questions. Honestly, ask questions. And not in a snide way or in a way that you think you already know the answers. Ooh, I've done that so many times. It was surprising to me to ask questions to my teenagers when I first started learning this that I thought I knew the answer to, and I actually did not. To try to help them to realize that my best efforts were not really honoring who they were as a person. One good example is my daughter, when she was 15, was having a really tough time in high school. She's an introvert, she's a writer, she's just this incredibly cool person that I didn't really understand. And so I was trying to get her to do things in high school that I enjoyed, being an extrovert, right? I like doing this and I like doing that. And one day, I'll never forget it, we were sitting in our kitchen and I said, well, what about this? And don't you like doing it? And she looked at me and she said, Mom, I'm not you. And, that stunned me, even though now it seems so obvious. Of course she's not me. Of course she's her own person. But I didn't really take that in. And it caused me to step back and take a look at this incredible creature that I had been missing out on because I was superimposing my thoughts, my beliefs, what made me happy and all that onto her. So one is look at what you might be superimposing onto your kid, okay? 2 is watch them, understand them, know them. And the 3rd thing is ask questions. Ask questions. It's the most important thing you can be doing right now as the parent of a teenager. So stay tuned with us on yarcoach.com if you want to take a look at, the book. My book that I wrote just to explain all this stuff and a few other things like anger management and that kind of stuff. It's a short book. It's a guide to relief, and it's made to give you relief, not to give you one more thing to read. I mean, really, you don't have time for all that when you're parenting and working and doing all the things that you do. So take a look at the book. You can find a link on yarcoach.com for the book. You can also ask questions and join us on our Facebook page, Yar Coach. And until we meet again, happy parenting.